In this video, we will watch Baker Mayfield speaks to the media ahead of Carolina Panthers matchup, including sacks, accountability, momentum killers, and more. Hello and welcome back, my friends. Do not forget to subscribe, as our goal is to reach 5,000 subscribers, and hit the thumbs up.
For me, I know this sounds kind of corny, but it's kind of a mindset. Tell yourself you're able to get through it, and you just kind of mind over matter. There's times where every injury is different. If it's going to hinder your play, I know I've mentioned that before. If it's going to hinder your play, you're hurting the team. So there's a difference in toughing it out and being smart. So it's a fine line you got to walk.
Is it hard to come off the field though and not play?
Oh yeah. For me, yeah. You want to be out there as a competitor. You want to be out there with your guys. You go through the weeks of practice, and you want to be able to go out and do your best on game day.
How much did it impact your mobility? Maybe not necessarily scrambling because you were able to run for a touchdown, but run for a first down, but just moving around in the pocket.
If like immediately after a little bit, but it eased up as the game went on.
You know, you were sacked 6 times, which is a high number for this group. But when you go back and look at it, you feel like you held the ball a few times too long.
There's the sacks. Like there was one that I scrambled up and somebody was going to hit me, so I slid. And it's like the 0 yardage sacks, so those kind of impact those numbers. There were a couple definitely could have gotten the ball out quicker. The empty one where it took a sack just across midfield. Definitely just need to find an outlet, make it easier on those guys. Yeah, it's a little bit of both. Finding outlets, checking the ball down, or throwing it away, and just knowing when they might have a better call than us.
How did you know Tristan Wirfs has been such a rock for this team, such a great player, and moved to left tackle and all that. A lot of guys, including yourself, are playing hurt right now. So for him to give up the sack fumble in the game, what'd you say to him? I mean, is there any discussion about, he's not going to be perfect either, right?
Yeah, everybody's human when it comes down to it. He's still a stud. We still trust him with everything. Just one of those plays that, yeah, it just got beat around the edge, and that happens. Obviously, it's a critical moment, so I know he's really hard on himself, but it's very rare to have that happen with him. And so you just, all right, they got us that time. You got to move on and just instill that faith that we still trust him no matter what. And he knows that, but especially right after a game like that.
Baker, can you clarify a little bit more? Because I was listening this week, and after the game, you were like, everybody's got to be on board. I'm fighting. I'm going to try to bring some other guys over. And then some people are like, oh, what do you mean by that? Are some guys not giving their all? Could you expound a little bit on that?
It's, for me, my mindset right now, and it should be for the whole team, is we're in a playoff mode mentality. We have to take care of business each week to move on and to get to where we want to go. And so it's a matter of we don't really have any more room there's no slack. We have to pick up the pace. We got to have a sense of urgency about it. I think now everybody realizes what's at stake now, that we have to win out. We have to win these division games to get to where we want to go, to get into the playoffs. And so it's a sense of urgency. It's a matter of guys doing all the treatment, getting everything we need to get done. Young guys stepping up and realizing that they're going to play a pivotal role in this final season push that we have, and everybody just has to be on board.
There's so many young guys.
Well, just to follow up on that, so
I'm not talking to anybody specific.
There's so many young guys on that team though, like the wide-eyed, bushy-tailed, right? The NFL, like they don't realize how difficult it is to get to the playoffs. It took you a couple years to get there. How do you kind of get them to realize that it's time to go? Like playoffs don't come every year. Like we're lucky to be in this hunt, this position.
Yeah, I think for an organization like this, guys can step into a place like this and think it just happens automatically. But we're facing a lot of struggles, adversity right now, that a lot of self-inflicted things, but it's a lot of lessons that these young guys can learn from and say, all right, these are why we're not winning these games. Small things can really turn a game around, and so those are the things you really have to focus on and get corrected for this playoff push.
How much of a shock to the system has this been after that 3-1 start, but to drop 6 of the last 7? It looks like you guys are, ascending.
Yeah, obviously it's not what we had planned, but at a certain point, it's just look in the mirror, get your job fixed, and then try and elevate everybody else around you. There's no secret recipe besides doing your job at the highest level possible each game.
It feels like at times the offense is able to move the ball, but then a penalty or a drop kind of ends things. Is that an accountability thing? Do guys need to be held accountable, or is that a focus thing?
A little bit of both. There's some penalties here and there that are hurting us. obviously, the first drive, we're moving it pretty well, and I go down, and then you have the penalty to back us up off the goal line. Just things like that. And was that really a false start? No, but just little things that you have to. They can change the drive, the momentum. So you just have to be locked in at all times. It's that reset button mentality. Good, bad play. You have to play the next one, and your focus has to be there 100%.
I know you've been part of teams that coaches have been fired. You're off social media. You try not to pay attention to that, obviously, but like, just how much of an awareness is there? What's at stake for a whole organization when you get to this point? Like, it's not just your job, or but there's a whole group of people that are in this together. Is that a discussion, or? Not
really. I mean, you're going through it each day with your coaches, with staff, teammates, and so you realize that everybody's got a part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately, been a part of a few coaching changes, a few mid-season, and that's when guys realize what really is at stake. Because at the end of the year, changes happen, but mid-year when it happens, it kind of rocks the organization, and obviously been there before. So it's something that really puts things in perspective. That you got to take care of business for everybody.
What do you expect in Baker, the mentality of the Panthers, having made the coaching change in this sweet first game under this interim coach?
Yeah. Having been in that spot before, it's kind of everybody rallies around it. Honestly, it's one of those things that brings people together. And I know Taves very well. Was there with him last year. Great guy, and so I think he's going to have those guys fired up. And at this point, they don't have anything to lose, so they're going to be playing, 100%. And so we have to be ready for whatever they have, all different coverages, blitzes, packages that they might have, and just be prepared for that.
Can you just talk about the growth of the offense as a whole and Dave Canales and where he's come as a play caller, and where you guys feel like you are having the scheme down? It looks like the running game's getting going a little bit better, and you guys have kind of mastered what's being asked of you.
Yeah, obviously the final production hasn't been there, or else we would be winning more games. But the run game has improved extremely the past couple weeks against some good run front teams, and so that's what we've been looking for, is growth each week in the offense. But now we just need to finish in the red zone. Kind of the same story there. We're able to move the ball, but some of these momentum killers, like we mentioned earlier, it's just gotta nip those out and just hammer it home and finish with touchdowns instead of field goals.
Dave Canales mentioned last week that you're not getting the same treatment as some other quarterbacks in the league. You're not getting the calls that a lot of other guys. Do you kind of feel that way too, or?
Dave said that? I got my first roughing the passer penalty, though. That was nice. That's probably the least one I expected, but I appreciate Cleat for that one. That was good.
Baker, your time in Carolina last year wasn't what you wanted to be personally or for the team. How do you look back on that now as they come to town?
I believe everything happens for a reason. God's got a plan, and so got to know some great teammates there, and some great support staff as well. And I enjoyed it. Obviously, it wasn't a full season. I got to finish up in LA, but it was a time that I needed to get out of Cleveland. It was a fresh start for me. Obviously, it didn't pan out the way I envisioned it, but everything happens for a reason. I'm here now, and I expect to have a good game against some familiar faces, and it'll be fun.
I know the mentality is so much just doing what's right in front of you and focusing on the season, but on that same note, so much of how you're playing right now is going to really kind of dictate what's next for you after this year. How much do you think about that?
I don't, because I've always said, if you win games, the rest will take care of itself. So for me, play the best I can, put us in a good position to win, and do everything I can that way, and lead the best way I can, and just let that show, and everything else will happen for a reason.
As far as this Panthers team, you've obviously been part of it. You know a lot of the guys on there. What's some of the problems that they're going to present to you that you're looking forward to on Sunday?
Yeah, I'll start up front. Brian Burns, stud. He can do it all. Derek Brown is a monster. So you got to control those guys up front. You can't let them wreck the game. Frankie Luvo runs around. Obviously, they lost Shaq Thompson, a really good player. But in their back end, they have good players. And we're expecting to have J.C. Horn show back up for us, and Jeremy Chin as well. So a lot of talented players. And so it'll be a good matchup for us, and it'll be a good test for us. And we just need to handle it correctly.
Thanks for watching. I hope you like our hard work. Please like and subscribe to our channel to support us so that we can keep updating you with the daily news and stories. Please share our videos and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. So leave a comment below and tell us how you rate this video.